seconds.
Zach, the monitor shut off.
No, they're not off. 2, 1.
Today on MHK All Day, we get the inside scoop on a K-State alum's experience on The Bachelor from her sister. Also, we'll talk about the growing number of potholes in the community this winter and what the city is doing to combat them. And we have coverage on former White House photographer's visit to K-State. All of this and more. This is MHK All Day.
Good morning and welcome to MHK All Day. I'm Tiffany Horn. Up first, we'll take a look at a few stories making headlines in Manhattan and around Riley County in 90 seconds. K-State's freshman is still looking for one of his most prized possessions, a purple maraca that matches his white maraca. The owner, Cameron Koger, says the maraca went missing last November at Tubby's Sports Bar in Aggieville. Koger said that his maracas have led to positive results for the K-State athletics.
I'm not one for superstition, but it is scientifically impossible for us to lose a game in which I have my maracas in my case studies I've had them at. I took them to 2 football games. We won both of them. I took them to 5 basketball games. We won all of them.
A hydraulic malfunction is to blame for an apartment fire in Manhattan. Fire crews respond to 1114 Vertier to find an apartment building with smoke visible. The fire caused $15,000 in damage to the building and contents. The Manhattan Fire Department reminds citizens to clean the lint, make sure the exhaust vent is not restricted, and turn off the dryer when not in use. Another fake Patty's Day has come and gone, and Riley County Police say they have handed out nearly half the citations this year compared to last year's event. Officers issued 244 citations total, including 61 for open containers, which was down from 147, from 2018. Authorities made a total of 39 arrests, 8 fewer than last year. 7 of those arrests this year were for disorderly conduct. If you're a student staying in Manhattan next week, here are some local attractions you can check out over the break. 9 miles outside of Manhattan, Pillsbury Crossing is a flat limestone formation used by homesteaders during the mid-1800s to help their covered wagons cross Deep Creek. Wildwood Outdoor Adventure is another possible spring break activity, with 7 zip lines stretching across deep valleys in the Flint Hills.
Earlier this week, we tweeted out a poll asking Manhattan area citizens if they've had car trouble or know of anyone having car trouble in the area due to the abundance of potholes around town. 83% of our viewers voted yes, while the remaining 17% voted no. The city's public information officer wants to make it clear that the city is aware of this and on top of it. The city filled only 94 potholes in the last month of January last year, while this year they've already filled over 2,000 and are still going. I took a look into why there are so many more potholes this year than in years past. Hillary Smiley, like many other Manhattan area citizens, have come face to face with the city's abundance of potholes. Smiley says she was driving down Claflin Road when she hit a pothole costing her hundreds of dollars in repairs.
And I said, okay, well, how much is that going to be to fix it? And he was like, it'll be about $700. And as a college student, I don't have $700 on a whim to fix my car.
Heather Seibert also couldn't avoid a pothole on the streets in Manhattan, costing her close to $1,000 in damages.
So it's just kind of frustrating to know that the city was aware, and then now I'm having to pay out of pocket for my car to be repaired. So it's just kind of frustrating that I know it's not just me that this is happening to. So it's just kind of unfortunate that the city didn't really take it seriously.
The city of Manhattan has currently filled over 2,000 potholes this year, and they aren't even close to being done. The city's public information officer says the weather is to blame.
It's 100% the weather. So if the conditions had been nice and we had a mild winter, we wouldn't have seen anything like this. But all across the Midwest, public works departments are just kind of despairing at the number of potholes, and drivers have had a lot to deal with.
Uccello urges citizens to slow down and be aware of the potholes, but also promises that the problem isn't going unnoticed.
It's just these crazy weather conditions with the rain and freeze cycles that they get down in the cracks of the pavement and just create pothole after pothole. And then when we go in after a snow event and plow, the plows often will pop up the patches that we've just done.
The city is fixing the potholes now that the freezing weather temperatures have warmed up a bit. But Smiley is still disappointed it took this long.
It's really upsetting because, we expect the city to take care of its citizens, and part of that is keeping the roads safe for us to drive on.
In Manhattan, Brienne Smith, MHK All Day. What? To report a pothole in Manhattan, you can visit cityofmanhattan.com/reportit or download the Reportit app. I'm here with K-State physics experts Chris Sorensen and Peter Nelson to talk about how potholes are made due to the weather. So can you tell us a little bit about this experiment here and what's going on?
Well, yeah, we want to demonstrate the freeze-thaw cycle that occurs, and that's the reason for potholes. A warm day, maybe 35 degrees, the snow will melt a little bit, the water will seep into a crack in the road, and the crack might be really tiny. But then the interesting thing about water is when it freezes, it expands, and that's a very unusual property. Well, if it expands, it actually pushes against the sides of the crack, makes it a little bit bigger. That's overnight when it freezes, then the next day it doggone melts again, and it scooches further down into the crack. And then overnight it freezes again, and the crack gets bigger and bigger, and after a while, with the roadway traffic and so on, the cracks in the road create potholes. Now, what we want to do today, Peter and I, we want to demonstrate. We got some liquid nitrogen here, which is really doggone cold. And we've got a steel bomb. Okay. And believe me, the bomb is the right characteristic description of this. But it's good hard steel, it's very thick. And you say to yourself, well, steel is stronger than water, right? Well, we're going to prove that's wrong.
All right.
So we've got another bomb here that Peter filled before the show. It's completely full of water, no air gaps or anything like that.
Okay.
And we're going to lower it into the liquid nitrogen and freeze it. You might notice we're putting a lot of armament around this demonstration because we don't want to ruin any $20,000 cameras or kill any nice hosts.
Yeah, I hope not.
Here we go. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you do it. I'll just... So you can see as soon as that steel bomb at room temperature got plunged into the liquid nitrogen, was just like 196 degrees below 0 Celsius. There's lots of boiling going on. And it's going to take a while for the water to freeze and form completely to ice. And we're just going to see what happens once it forms to ice.
Okay, so...
Any questions?
Yeah, so can you tell me a little bit about, so the potholes in Manhattan, like I said, they filled over 2,000 this year. You think that's fully because of the weather?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, at least 95% of it is. And it's interesting to point out that it's a good thing we have this problem because this is a major feature in surface erosion. It happens in the mountains too. Water melts, slips into the cracks, freezes, and the Rocky Mountains wear down to the plains of Kansas.
So what do you think could be done to maybe prevent this in the future with the roads? I know that they're trying out a new system to prevent it, but what do you think?
You know, if I had a good idea, I'd file a patent for it before I told you here on national TV. It's a difficult problem, and I think people are working on, the mechanical engineers, the civil engineers are trying to solve the problem, but it's been a problem a long time.
Yeah, so they told me that when they're driving to plow the roads, they pull up the old patches. And I thought that was interesting, and they said they're trying to test out. All right, well.
All right. Are we having fun in Manhattan, Kansas, or what?
All right.
Let's see what we have here.
I think that's all we have time for, but that is pretty wild. Wow.
One broken bomb, and it's cold.
Woo, I bet. All right, well, stay tuned because after the break, we talk to Zach Perez about the donut run. Thank you.
I email my professors, I get an answer. They're participating in the discussion boards. You just feel really connected, and that was a unique experience for me. I'm not new to distance programs, I'm a military wife, been to 6 different colleges in 4 different states. So I've definitely taken some online classes, and K-State does it very differently. And they pull it off beautifully. I don't know how, but I'm just glad.
Welcome to K-State. We're so excited all of you came to visit us here on campus. We're going to be starting our tour here in front of Anderson Hall, which is our administrative building and kind of our iconic building on campus. It houses our president's office and our vice president for student life. All right, let's get started. We're going to be going to the Union next. It houses our pool.
I had taken online classes before, but Kansas State was really great because it was so organized, and like all the teachers and professors were so helpful, and they just went beyond to help me to get the degree that I was looking for.
H1 minus H2 plus V1 squared minus V2 squared all over 2.
Welcome back to MHK All Day. I'm Bridget Howard, and I'm now joined by Amara Ahe. She's a senior here at K-State. Thanks for joining us today, Amara.
Thanks for having me.
So your sister Anyeka was on the season of The Bachelor this year, and before she was on the show, did you ever watch it? What was your opinion of the show?
So me, Anyeka, and my mom are like obsessed with it. So we would always like joke about like Anyeka like trying to go on and everything. So it's very fun to like have your sister be on the show that you like watched growing up and everything.
So when Anyeka was introduced on the show, you actually got some screen time. Did you know that you were going to be on the show?
So as soon as they gave her the call that she like had officially been cast, like a week later, they called her again and like wanted to do an intro with her family. So she called us, and like we all had to like make sure we were all there. So it was really exciting. I like couldn't really tell anyone, so I just told everyone I was sick on game day, and then went back to my parents' house for the afternoon and did like a weird family dinner, but it was really fun and interesting. So
that's so funny. Well, let's actually take a look at the clip when your family got introduced to the world.
We pray that you bless this meal which you're about to take.
My parents are from Nigeria. They dated for 2 weeks and then they were engaged.
To me, when you see the right person, it just hits you. And it's...
And we've been married for 28 years.
Absolutely.
And very happy together.
So your sister actually won the wedding challenge on the 3rd episode of the season. So let's take a look at that clip and see how that went for her.
Come on! I'm just thinking that whoever wins gets a rose. So I book it, and that's when I realized that I'm way, 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 way faster than these girls. I'm Bachelor's strongest woman.
Tell me a little bit about that. Did she tell you anything about that experience?
Actually, we didn't know that she won until, so my other sister lives in LA. For that, like those challenges, you can like just like, I mean, I guess they invite like anyone to like watch it, like the cheerleaders and stuff. So my sister's friend was in the audience, and so she like texted my other sister. He like texted all of us and was like, Anyeka won like a challenge, which we weren't surprised because she's super competitive about like sports. So she definitely, I mean, she showed them up.
Yeah, she definitely did. And she eventually ended up going home on the 6th episode of the season. What was your reaction to how that all played out?
I mean, she didn't get portrayed like in the best light, but I don't know. It was like kind of hard watching her leave, but I know the person she is, and like she was funny and she entertained people. So like I think she did her job.
How did you handle the criticism, like seeing it online, and did she talk to you at all about how like she was feeling when it was all playing out?
Yeah, so I knew that she was sassy. Obviously, I grew up with her, but whenever I saw it like play out, I mean, I just thought that was like her personality. And then we saw some comments, and I was like with my pledge class, and I don't know, I'm protective of my sister, so I probably didn't handle it the best, but it was very interesting to see like how many trolls are on the internet.
How was her experience in the Bachelor Mansion? We hear so much about this place, that these women and men get to stay. What did she like about it?
She honestly loved it. I mean, she got like, all she had to do was like write down what she wanted to eat, and they would bring it to her, and like they got to lay on the pool if they weren't like on a date. So it's definitely like paradise.
Well, we got you a rose to say thank you for joining us on our show. Thank you again. Back to you, Bree. Thanks, Bridget. Maybe we'll get to see Onyeka again on Bachelor in Paradise. MHK All Day reporter Nathan Cox is sporting a new haircut, but what inspired his new look? Reporter Sean O'Bray has more.
One of our very own reporters, Nathan Cox, recently shaved his head in solidarity with a family friend living all the way in Colorado Springs, although this is not the first time that he's done so.
Last year my mom came down with cancer, and it really hit home, and so I decided to shave my head with a lot of my friends last year. And this year, around the same time, one of my best friends, Genesis, she decided she was going to shave her head with one of her family friends, and I decided I also wanted to shave my head with her, you know, to raise awareness for this terrible disease that needs to be cured.
Jason Linta, a retired military firefighter with over 25 years of experience, was recently diagnosed with adenoid cystic carcinoma, a rare form of cancer that develops in the glandular tissues. Nathan and his friends have high expectations that what they're doing will make a difference for Jason.
By me and my friends shaving our heads, I mean, I think we just hope to raise awareness for, cancer, in solidarity, because, most people don't have their head shaved, and to shave their head with someone, and to shave your head is a really big deal. And so to be there with someone while they go through that terrible thing, every time that someone has to shave their head, it's a really big deal. It can mean a lot to a lot of people, so just being there with them through a terrible time and shaving your head with them and showing solidarity means a lot to them.
At the moment, there is still no cure for Jason's specific type of cancer, but there are many experimental options that he and his family can pursue. In Manhattan, Sean O'Bray for MHK All Day.
Thanks for sharing. Love the buzz cut look on you, Nathan. But don't go anywhere, because after the break, we have updates on Big 12 standings for K-State's men's basketball.
Left side three ball, yes! Throws it down! Wow! Goodness, Steve, way up above the rim and a block. Derek Brown taking on Gildas Alexander, and he scores! Are you kidding? Kansas State is headed to the Elite Eight.
Your identity is who you are.
Feels pretty good. Hurts a little bit when I'm putting pressure on it, but not too bad. What's your pain level at? Probably like a 3. Okay, cool. So much better than yesterday. Yeah, a lot better. All right. Well, I'm going to start to slow it down now. Okay.
In taking the classes and in being in industry, a lot of the classes were super applicable to going out in the industry. So it's things that are actually being taught in the real world and what are needed in the real world. There were a number of classes that you could take exactly what you learned and walk into a job and say, I've done this, and this is exactly how they're doing it, and the company should feel comfortable that you know what you're talking about. It's really tangible to what you're going to do once you graduate. So that's been the best part, I'd say.
The best kept secret in Manhattan is not a secret anymore. I'm Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Wildcats, and welcome to JP's Sports Grill. With daily chef-inspired specials, a full bar, and a diverse menu that has something for everyone, this place is guaranteed to impress.
JP Sports Grill, your new favorite spot.
Welcome back. I'm going to send it over to our sports crew for an update on what's going on in Manhattan sports.
Thanks, Bree. The Meadowlark Hills retirement community in Manhattan is home to hundreds of live-in residents.
Meadowlark offers a wide variety of fitness activities, including exercise classes every weekday morning. I sat in on a few of those sessions. Let's take a look. At Meadowlark Hills Retirement Community, their employees make sure to keep their residents active and healthy with their fitness programs. Jeff Heidbreder, the fitness services leader, oversees Meadowlark's fitness activities to make sure the residents know how to use the equipment, and he also runs the group exercise classes.
We're here just to try to keep everybody moving, keep them healthy. Kind of our philosophy is we want them to stay involved in all the activities that they want to participate in for as long as possible.
These classes are not all that Meadowlark Hills has to offer. They also have indoor and outdoor walking trails, as well as other activities around campus.
That makes you get up in the morning and and get dressed and ready to come down here and then participate in this for 45 minutes, and then you're going to go off and do whatever you want to do.
Some of the residents may be discouraged and don't think they have the ability to participate in the fitness program. But Polly Farrell says that you should go and try your best.
You just have to be willing to try. And Jeff is also very helpful that if you are having some kind of a health issue, maybe you've strained a shoulder muscle or something, to do what you can do. And if you can't do as many repetitions as he demonstrates, then you do what you can.
Heidbreder says that participating in the fitness programs has benefited residents for the better.
They're stronger, they're moving better, they're more confident in their abilities to do things. Some people say that traveling has been difficult for them and they've been able to get out and travel, go see their family.
Meadowlark Hills also has a 24-hour fitness center available to residents, employees, and membership holders, along with an opportunity for personal training. In Manhattan, Alex Scaly for MHK All Day.
The K-State men's basketball team is on the verge of winning it all in the Big 12 Conference. The final champion will come down to either or the Wildcats and the Texas Tech Red Raiders. K-State plays at home this Saturday against an on-fire Oklahoma University team at 5 p.m. If the Cats win this game, they'll become the Big 12 title champions for the first time since 2012-2013 season. Senior Dean Wade talks about what it would mean to be on top after Saturday.
And finally be, top of the Big 12 and fighting for a championship with the last game of the season. So, it means a lot to us. And, we worked really hard for this, so hopefully we can come out and just play, the same basketball we've been playing.
Thanks, Tiffany and Alex. After the break, we catch up with recently elected K-State SGA President and Vice President.
TV and live on Facebook.
And you can actually see it.
Come on, one more.
Three-pointer. It's good!
Oh, it's been like the best adventure of my life. Best, hands down. Don't tell my children I said that, but absolutely the best thing ever. I've had so much fun. I've learned so much, and I think the thing that I love most about this program, the expectations are just like that of a regular full-time program. There's discussions, there's discussion board posts, there's interaction with the instructors, just like you would have if you were on campus. I love it.
This week, MHK All Day reporter Zach Perez went on a donut run with newly elected SGA President Jansen Penny and Vice President Ali Karamali. Let's take a look.
The second official episode of Donut Run. With me today, I have the current SGA President and Vice President. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, my name is Jansen Penny.
And I'm Ali Karamali.
And we were just elected this past week to serve as next year's student body president and vice president. It has been a wild ride. You know, Ali and I have been on this journey running for student body president for about 10 months now, and really all that came to fruition here in the past few weeks. But if you've been following anything with the Collegian, with the Mercury, you might have heard some of the different things that went on with elections. It definitely was not a usual cycle, we'd say.
Yeah. It was definitely not ideal, but over the last 10 months, we've definitely not necessarily always enjoyed the last 10 months, but it was definitely all worth it hearing the results on Wednesday night.
Is there anything that you'd like to kind of just say to our viewers, and then pretty much the whole student body, as in terms of, you know, what kind of what you want to do for them, or anything that you'd just like to say to them in general?
You know, I know Ali and I talked about from the beginning, it was not just him and I who got us to this position. It was dozens of dedicated, you know, people who really shared our same vision of, you know, what they want to see in K-State and really empowering others. And so many people helped us on this journey. And that does not end now that the campaign is over.
Just to add on to that, I guess, Jansen, I just want to say thank you to you, to all the viewers, everybody. Our victory on Wednesday was as much ours as it was every student who went out and voted, every student who played a part in any campaign, whether it be a senator, director, president, vice president, anything like that. That's really a testament to what our student body can do when they're proactive, when they're engaged, when they care about the mission and vision of K-State moving forward.
It's a great sentiment.
Thank you.
Also, just because we are in Varsity Donuts, don't know how familiar you guys are with all the stuff that they have here, but if you had to choose a favorite donut that they sell here, what would you pick?
Okay, I like the one, what is it called? It has a like Oreo like crumble thing on top.
Oh, the flat tire, I think.
Flat tire.
Yeah.
Yep.
Flat tire.
Okay, flat tire.
Okay, I'm more of like an 80-year-old man when it comes to donuts.
Like a cake?
No, I like the.
As long as it's not like a plain cake donut, we're good.
I like the cake ones that are just cinnamon sugar on top.
Yeah.
So there's no icing or anything, but those are just so good.
No.
That is very 80-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, thank you guys both so much for coming on the show with me. It was really nice to have you both here.
Thank you very much.
And with that, I'm going to pass it back to you, Bridget. Tweet us at MHK All Day to suggest K-State and Manhattan community members that you think would deserve a spot on the Donut Run.
That's all we have time for today on MHK All Day. Thanks for tuning in and have a safe spring break.